Beat Space.
So this week we asked some of the members of our team at InPower Academy some questions regarding mental health, and these are the answers that they gave. Question 1. Name one thing you do or you think you should do to improve your mental health.
Well, I always appreciate life when I get up in the morning. I'll do my meditation, and I always know positive, strong and negative. We all can fall down, but it's how we get up from that fall. So the way I do it is I'll just appreciate life and enjoy what's coming to me.
I would say for me, if it hadn't been for journaling and meditation, I wouldn't have got through it. Journaling enables me to put the information that kind of replays in my mind onto paper and put that to rest. And every day I do this and I summarise the day, I discuss what I think went well, what I think went badly, what I could improve on. And if the same thing tends to kind of arise in the same week a few times, then I'll kind of pull that point to the side and look into it on a deeper level so that I can grow. I would also say something which I've recently kind of come onto is meditation. Now for me, it just helps me to be at peace with myself. It helps me to really focus on my breathing, prioritise what's important, and just value, your body and the things that you're able to do. So even though I can't go out, I'm still breathing, my heart still works, I'm still in good health, and it really made me focus on the most important things that we sometimes take for granted. So I'd definitely say to give that a go if you are somebody that is struggling to kind of cope, or even looking for an alternative method to what you've been doing, because sometimes the things that we do over and over we just get used to, and it's like that routine, it stops it from actually us, well, it stops us from reaping those benefits of that. So I'd definitely say that it's worth doing.
My answer to question 1, what I do to improve my mental health: I keep close contact with my family, my friends, my kids. I maintain good diet, and I also maintain good exercise.
One thing that I do to cope with mental health is to take time out away from usual routine, something a bit different, and just blank out everything. And spend time to be at one with yourself, really. Whether that's going away and not worrying about any business or anything like that, or even just maybe going and doing some training. I tend to turn to sports to cope with that sort of thing. But yeah, just be with yourself and your own thoughts, really, away from your everyday life, the stuff that makes you stressed, really. That's the one thing that I would say to cope with my mental health.
If I had to say one, I'd say meditate. Within the last, something I found a lot, I've been consistent with during these lockdowns and this period of time, is that I've been meditating, and meditation comes in different forms, whether that's your meditation practice could be to do some physical activity, but the meditation I've been doing has just been mainly guided meditation. So you can search on YouTube or Spotify different guided meditations and check them out, and just to be alone with your thoughts, it just gives some perspective and clarity on things. So that's worked for me.
For the first question, I would say, for me personally, I recently got into or had a taste of meditation, which really helped my mental health. It allowed me to let my deeper inner feelings out. When I say deeper inner feelings, I mean deeper emotions like anger or pain or sadness, things that I've been holding on to and wanted to release, because when you release, you let go. It's like you throw the weight off your shoulder. But to do that, it's very hard to just sit there and just let it all out. So meditation is one of the things I think people can start doing to improve their mental health.
One thing I should do for my mental health is probably get out of the house more, especially during lockdown.
In the current situation, the things that I can do to help improve my mental health is focus my mind somewhere, whether it's learning something new to take my mind off a lot of things, going for walks, doing physical activity out in the fresh air, because being out in the fresh air helps too. So like taking those deep breaths in and feeling the wind on your skin is amazing, little things we take for granted. So I think the things that I can help me moving forward is to go and have walks, try and train outside, and take on a new hobby. I think that's it right now.
Question 2. How has lockdown affected your mental health?
Lockdown has had a major effect on my mental health, really. Reason being, I'm a very social person. I like to spend time with friends and family. It's been hard to do that throughout lockdown, obviously, with restrictions and so on and so forth. Also, I haven't been able to live my life. I'm a very ambitious person. I always like to push myself and go, and always feel like I'm elevating. If I feel like I'm not going anywhere, that's when I start to stress and things get quite on top of me. So business-wise, throughout lockdown, I haven't been able to teach any classes. I'm a martial arts instructor, so it's all been going online, so I've had to adapt, reevaluate, and it's changed my whole routine, really, and changed my life. And because it's been on and off, it's hard, because one time you're doing one routine, next minute you're doing the other. And I find it hard to cope when everything's not in routine and I can't see where I'm progressing to, really. So yeah, I think that's been the hardest point for me, really, in through this lockdown, really, is not being able to communicate with people, being alone, and just not being able to be a set routine and do what I want to do, really.
I would say it's probably brought me down a little. Not being able to leave the house, socialise. Yeah, I guess it's brought me down somewhat. But I guess what is helping is getting out as much as I can, whether that be running or walking.
Yes, lockdown has affected my mental health to an extent, because I lead a very active life. So I'm always up and down, I'm out, see people all the time, I go to the gym, I'm around my family, my friends always. So not doing those things anymore has been challenging, because I love human contact and that communication and being around people and hearing how other people's days been. So being indoors a lot has been very, very, very challenging on a lot of ways for me. And because even down to the physical aspect, having health conditions, going to the gym definitely helps making sure that they're maintained and okay. Not having that as an output is not the best, you know, but it is what it is. We have to do what we can with the things that we have around us and adapt to it. Make it okay? I don't know, but yeah, it's been challenging in its own right.
I'm sure you will all agree with me when I say that this lockdown has not been fun, has not been easy, and has really kind of beaten us down. You know, it's meaning that we can't see the people that we love. It's had a massive impact on us at a major time, such as Christmas, where we'd probably have the most fun with our family and friends. We haven't been able to socialise, which are often the things that we do to kind of have a break from our normal 9 to 5 or college or uni, and we couldn't do any of those things.
I mean, how has it affected me? It's impacted me in ways. I haven't been able to see my family. I'm a very family orientated person, so not being able to see, say, like my mom or my dad, that's been impactful, right? Because I think as humans we're about relationships, so not being able to see them as much or at all during the lockdowns. So it hasn't just been the lockdowns, it's been the elements where there's been tears as well. Even that's a bit sketchy. So yeah, I'd say just engaging with people. Obviously online engagement isn't always the same as well, and that's relationships, even with the stuff that we do at work. You know, the online engagement is very different to that personal presence which we as humans kind of crave.
How has lockdown affected my mental health? In a negative way a little bit, because I stopped boxing and I can't do what I love. I can't keep my exercising as much as I normally do. I can't see my friends as normally as I do, and some family members as well. So it's just made it a bit more difficult, but I'm not the only one going through it, which helps, you know. Like I said, you have to keep contact with people still to maintain a good, healthy mental health state.
Yeah, I would say lockdown really did have a negative effect on my mental health. It just made me very anxious, I would say. So I would spend a huge amount of time in my room. I guess that's what we're doing anyway. But even though I have family members that I live with and people that I can actually talk to, I kind of stay away from them, not engage in the things that I like doing. I like doing my music. I'd stay away from that. Even people that would try and contact me, try and call me, I would just block calls or not call. I was in a really bad situation. It's only till now where I've kind of learnt, as most people have learnt, to deal with it going into it the second time round, that I'm better at coping with it now, and obviously I'm doing things to cope with it. But I would say, yeah, that first initial lockdown just had my mind in a real bad state.
Has lockdown affected my mental health? No, it don't bother me the way I do, because I always wake up in the morning, I set myself goals and I do my meditating. But if it does bother you, there's nothing wrong with that, because that's what InPower is about. We can help you. So there are people you can talk to, either your parents if you can't talk to your parents. There's adults you can talk to. If you can't do that, you can talk to InPower. So there's nothing wrong with if it is bothering you, but you have a good mindset. You have a good mindset, you aim for things, and that will help you.
And question 3, how do you deal with negative emotions such as anger, sadness or fear?
So what I would do if I'm feeling a bit negative and low and not feeling myself is to pick up the phone and call somebody that I care about and love, whether that's my family or friends. And yeah, it tends to take that weight off your shoulders, you know, like a problem shared is a problem halved. Not sure if you've heard about that term before, but yeah, it makes you feel good. And then getting it off your chest and having someone to speak to about it rather than sitting in silence, because sometimes it's okay to sit in silence, but the problem never goes away, or it's always there at the back of your mind niggling away. So it's good to be able to speak about it. And plus as well, when you start talking to somebody that you care about and love, it turns into laughter, so you end up feeling good at the end anyway. So that's what I do personally, is contact my loved ones.
I talk about it, you know. If you talk about it, it's out of your system, and if it's out of your system, you've dealt with it really. So talking about it is very important. And, you know, tackling the issue, trying to solve the issue if it can be solved. And if it's causing you too much stress, then maybe, you know, stay away from the issue.
We all have the emotions sometimes, so the main thing is when you do that, just to relax, take a deep breath, think about what you're doing, and then get back into your positive mindset. And when I do that, I always know things are going to work out for me.
Regarding my feelings on anger or being sad, I'd say something that I'm gonna practice. Well, I'd love to scream from the rooftops and say this: it's okay to cry, it's okay to be sad. Why do you always need to be happy? Part of the human function is for us to sometimes be sad. We need to process these emotions. It makes us healthy and it makes us human. So for me, sometimes I cry, sometimes I take some time away from others, and I really, you know, when you just have one of those days where you just want to be by yourself, take them, because they're really important. So I'd definitely say that that's how I deal with a lot of my sadness and anger and stuff, to just take time away from what's making me angry and kind of reflect on what it is in terms of my triggers, and also just to kind of address what makes me sad. And if it's an obstacle that's not going anywhere, then it needs to go, and that's also how I deal with that. So yeah.
At first, I used to deal with my emotions just by bottling them up and putting them to the side. When I was younger, even a little bit now, but I've kind of learnt. Kind of the first question I answered, I said meditation was something I'm going to start getting into as a way to release emotions. For the young people out there, and for anybody out there really, you have to learn to allow your emotions to come out. Otherwise, you've just got that weight on your shoulders, and you're always going to have that. So if not meditation, there are people out here that care for you, for everybody, even to the team. The team cares about these young people out here. We care about you, like, you know what I'm saying? So even if you was to contact one of us, contact your parents, your cousins, your aunties, other family members, close friends, other people that you feel comfortable with. You need to be able to talk, as well as letting your emotions out. You need to be able to talk about situations or emotions that are affecting you and making you think negative things, because the last thing I want for anybody is to be in a negative mind frame and not be able to come out of it. So I would say, for the last question, talk to anybody, family members, friends, people, teachers, anybody that you can think of who you think you'd be comfortable talking to. Just give them a ring.
Negative emotions such as anger, sadness and fear are things that you can't control. Everybody goes through these feelings, it's natural. How you deal with that is the main thing really. Everyone has their own ways that they deal with those sort of things. Anger, you can always switch that into a positive thing. If you're angry about something, rather than being angry and beating yourself up, twist that anger into a positive thing and use that anger to strive yourself. I think that's what I do a lot of the time. Like if I'm angry with myself for something, I'll get back, reevaluate, and use that anger to push myself and make sure that doesn't happen again. Fear is something that also can push you to do better. I always say fear is a good thing. I'm a martial artist, I'm a fighter, so whenever I go into a bout or any sort of competition, if I haven't got that little bit of fear or nervousness inside of me, there's something wrong. So it's always good to have a little bit of fear, because you're scared of losing something, you're scared of doing something wrong, which is good, because in hindsight that's going to sharpen up what you're doing. For myself really, because I'm going to be in fear of failing, so it's going to push me to do even better.
With negative emotions, I've tried to turn it into something positive. So if I'm feeling down, unmotivated, I just try to do stuff to motivate myself. So whether that would just be running, working out, reading, I try to use negative energies and just turn them into positive energies, if and when possible.
Yeah, do you know something? I don't label them as bad or negative. I think we have to understand that we as humans feel a range of emotions, and that they're gonna have us in different type of energies, whether that's positive, if that's a positive charged one or not. So I understand that I might feel a certain way. Something that helps me is journaling. I put down my thoughts. I say, you know, I feel this way, but what happened throughout the day that's made me feel like this? I feel like being self-aware. Being self-aware through journaling has really helped me. And because once I know what made me feel that way, I can then go to remedy it. Because a lot of the times we feel a certain way and we don't know why, and we're not looking back, we're like, I felt this way because of this person, because you spoke. But no, it's like you might have woke up bad or saw some news or saw some media. So journaling, to answer the question, journaling really helps me. But understand we all feel a range of emotions.